Hi, today I have the privilege of sharpening two more custom knives, two bunkers, a larger one and a smaller one. Come and have a look on the bench. These are both made of Nitro V steel. This larger one has a curly birch handle. Have a look at that. Just beautiful. And this one has a stabilized gidgee wood handle. Just beautiful. So they're blank. They're just off the grinder, finished, but they've got no edge on them at all. See that? No bevel. So I'm going to give them probably, let's start off with 20 degrees per side and see how that comes out. I think that should be plenty. We'll get straight into it. We'll start off with the larger one. Pop it in the knife jig. Set my measuring tool to 20 degrees. It needs to stand up some more. Perfect. Using the brand new version 3 knife jig handle, which you can buy from sharpen.shop. Okay, I reckon that's going to be good. Let's have a go. Now, because they're brand new knives, let's roughen it up with an 80 grit. See how the Nitro V is grinding up. Not familiar with Nitro V, you might be, but I presume it's a very hard steel, but it seems to be grinding okay. The Blackstone, of course, is made of silicon carbide, so the carbides in the grinding wheel will certainly be able to handle any super steel that you throw at them. Designed primarily for tool steels, which are very, very hard. Makes short work of most knives. Okay. That seems to be coming along okay. Have a look. I'm missing that tip a bit because I'm being a bit conservative. We'll get to that later. Heels are good. Again, I'm being conservative on the tip. And again, looks like conservative on the heel as well. So it's better to be careful and to overgrind. So let's bring the tip up, the handle up a bit more to see if we can get some of that tip. That looks much better. I measured these before I started, and they're quite, I wouldn't say thick, but they're robust. This one's around about, I think, half a mil. I think they're both around about 1/2 millimetre, which is not too bad. Okay, starting to get a burr now. This is of course a handmade knife, made from, I believe, stock that has been using that was made using stock removal. So it wasn't forged, but it was ground away to make this shape. It's very beautiful. I have a burr everywhere, except for right at the very tip. And I'll give you a look at this bevel when I'm finished. So you can have a look. Sometimes with the water on there, it's a little bit difficult to feel the burr. I think it needs a little bit more work around the belly. Might have been dropping that knife down a little bit fast. Okay, got a good burr. I just want to make this tip a little bit nicer on this side. That looks perfectly even. Now I'm going to grind it down just a little bit finer. So the 80 grit plate brings it down to 250, but that 320 raises it back up to about 1000. And you can hear the difference. I think that's done. Beautiful. Have a look. Beautiful, even, precise bevels. Lovely. Look at that handle. Just beautiful workmanship, super smooth all through here. He really does a great job. Okay. Now we'll take that burr off gently. We'll just try one light pass per side and then check it on the fingernail. Ooh, it's there. Yep, that's all it needed. The reason that that needs not much honing is because these hard steels, the burr breaks off very easily. Doesn't need much work. So that's done. I might just try it. See how that came out. Nice. I think it could do with a little bit more. Magnificent. Have a look at that. Beautiful. Let's do the other one. Give it a cleaner-oonie. Beautiful. Lovely. Now I'll do the smaller one. Remeasure that angle. It needs to drop down a bit. That should be fine. We'll try it on the fine side, see what happens. Have a look. One single pass on the 1000 grit side, and it definitely has made a mark there. So that's a good thing. I might leave it there. Using this knife jig handle just makes it so much more comfortable to use these jigs. Now, of course, I would say that, but it's true. It's true. Oh, fair bit of work to go there. You know what? I am going to take it down. So now using the 80 grit diamond plate, I've reduced it down to 250 grit, which should take a lot more metal off per pass. No burr anywhere. I think this one's a little bit thicker than the last one, but we'll get there. It really is a pleasure and a privilege to sharpen such beautiful knives. The wider cup on the Baz 3.0 version knife jig handle really makes sure that this knife stays at the angle at which you've set. Still no burr to be seen. Got a fair bit more to go. Of course, the wider the knife, the wider the bevel for the given degrees. So a 20-degree bevel on a very thin knife will be much smaller than the same 20-degree bevel on a very thick knife. However, if you try putting a big angle on a thick knife, then you'll get a ginormous bevel, which does not look good at all. As it is, this is getting quite large, even though it's the same degree as the other one. It's a weird old science, this. No burr yet. Just patience and you'll get there. I'll give it a couple of passes per side. Thankfully we're on the Tormek, which makes even a wide bevel beautiful and straight, presuming the knife is straight. So if you're new to Tormek, take note of how slow I'm travelling. You've got to travel slow sometimes because you've got to give the wheel enough time to grind the bevel. If you go too fast, you'll get all sorts of facets and shiny flat spots and things where the wheel has not had enough time to do its job. Still no bevel, and I can see we've got a fair bit more thickness to go. Oh, sorry, still no burr, I meant. The first time sharpening Nitro. What's it called? Nitro V. In the comments, what can you tell me about Nitro V? Starting to get a burr appear now, not everywhere, but in most places. Might just treat this heel to a bit of reverse grinding. It's too easy to lift up too early on the heel there and leave it underdone. So I'm just making sure that it gets ground properly and fully by focusing on that heel. Okay. Much better. Definitely got a burr everywhere now, so finishing it off, take the wheel down to 1000 grit. I think that's done. What do you think of that? Tormek. Perfectly precise bevels. Just beautiful. Let's hone the baby up. Probably still got enough on there. Very lightly, almost using just gravity alone. Not quite, pressing down just a little bit. In the beginning, when I first started, I would always overhone. I'd spend hours, because somewhere on the Tormek instruction videos, you know, those live sessions they have, they were discussing honing, and they said you've got to spend as much time honing as you do grinding. Well, that's absolutely and 100% untrue. You see, that's perfect. So how can that be true? I don't think one relates to the other at all. You grind until it's done, and you hone until it's done. And you only hone until you cannot catch any of your nail on the edge, and that's icy smooth. Oh, this is really getting dirty here. What the hell? Baz, what are you doing to your kangaroo tails, mate? Wonder what would happen if I washed it and let it out to dry. Might try that just to see what's going on. Let's see how sharp that is with a little hone, a little strop. Still a little bit rough. See how it's lifting the paper and doing weird things. Let's take it over to this side. I'd rather understrop than overstrop. Not bad, but my start wasn't glorious. I like my starts to be glorious. Have a look. See, not glorious. The rest of it's okay, but those starts are not as beautiful as I would want them to be. Let's try again. Yeah, a little bit better. A little bit better. Very lightly. Maybe it needs to be harder. Don't know. Still a student. I've only been sharpening for 52 years, but I'll get there. Oh, you see, that's much better. But that bit there was a bit weird. Let's try on the rough surface, see if that helps. Not rough, bumpy. The ridges. Nice. Still a little bit weird right at the tip there. Don't know. Then again, it is a very fat knife. Not very fat, but it's a wider knife. And I have got a big angle on there. But is that just an excuse or is that a reason? Let's try on the suede side, finish it off nicely. And that's pretty good. I'm going to be happy with that. Just a beautiful knife, fits beautifully in the hand. It's going to make a great cook's knife. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So there you have it. 2 beautiful handmade knives in Adelaide, South Australia. He makes them for himself. He doesn't sell them or anything. He just asked me to sharpen them. He's a viewer here. He's watching now. G'day. And I think he's going to be very happy with those. Yeah. Now, don't forget to go to isharpen.shop and pick yourselves up one of these 3.0 version Baz knife jig handles. Remember, you only buy the handle, you don't buy the jig. You've got to buy the jig off Tormek. Let's support the Tormeks. They're doing a good job. And this just makes it a bit easier to use, more like the old style. So go to isharpen.shop, have a look, check it out. If you like it, grab one. And you should find these diamond plates are on there, but they're not on there for very long because they sell out real quick. So if you don't see them, it means they've sold out. All right then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next movie. Oh, where's Chili? Got to say goodbye to Chili. Chili, there he is. Hello, Chili. You say goodbye to everyone? Yeah? Are you relaxing? You just chilling? Good boy.